Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Brandy. I am currently been diagnosed with diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, and I'm still going through the process of it. I finished my chemo on May 8th, 2023, and I had my PET scan, my last PET scan on June 5th of 2023. So pending those results, we'll see if I am cancer-free or not. But today I wanted to do a different type of video, not necessarily update on how I'm doing with, lymphoma and things like that, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the cost of cancer, the cost of, this whole process. Because when you're first starting it, you're definitely not really thinking about it. You are, but like you're not, because there's so many other things to think about. It's definitely a thought that crosses your mind. And it might depend on like the type of health insurance that you have, or if you have health insurance or not, how much of it affects, the process of you getting treatment. Thankfully for me, I am insured. I have health insurance through my employer, but there's still a cost associated with it, with the treatment of cancer. Obviously, it's not completely free, but I definitely am grateful to have had insurance, so that way it could pay for a portion of the treatment. And so I just want to get right into it. I broke down the three different, or mostly three, but there's the third category has like several subcategories. So I have three different categories of where my money went during this entire process of like cancer treatment and whatnot. The first one is doctor's visits. So I spent a total of $555.28 on doctor's visits. That includes things such as co-payments, and I had to pay like a small fee whenever I had my my biopsy. So yeah, that's my doctor's visits category. A little bit over, almost $600, a little bit under $600. The next category is pharmacy, for any medications that I got prescribed to me from my doctor, my oncologist, during the entire period. And this includes the fertility journey that I went through. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up in the eye. I think it's up here. And it also includes like all of my anti-nausea medication and all of my like prednisone medication that I had to take orally. And for this category, I spent $593.99 out of pocket, which again is a lot. Even with insurance for the last 6 months, it's even more than my co-payments for my doctor's visits. And then the last category is miscellaneous, basically medical expenses. So this is the one that's like really big. It has several subcategories. The first subcategory is parking fees. So at the fertility clinic, and I might have talked about this in my fertility video, but I might not have. But so the fertility clinic that I was going to is not part of, it's like a private hospital. My hospital, the hospital that I'm insured under, has like a partnership with this fertility clinic, like the private one. And so I was able to go there, and my services were covered under my insurance, but because it's a private hospital, they actually charge for parking. They charge you a fee. So it was like $5 every single time that we went there. And I had to go there like multiple times a week, 2 to 3 times a week for like, 15 days straight or something like that. So that ended up coming to like $135 just for parking fees. But thankfully that was the only thing besides medication that I had to pay. I didn't have to pay for the actual services. I just had to pay for the parking fees. So that was good. Okay, the next subcategory is transportation. Now this one is gonna be pretty high, and you're probably gonna think like, what the heck, that's really high. But there's two things. So the first thing is that I applied for and was awarded a scholarship or a grant basically from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society for a gas card. And that was that amount totaled $500. So I was able to use that to put gas in the car, basically to be able to drive to and from my appointments and treatments and things like that. We used that whole gas card, and then once that was up, I still had like treatments and whatnot. So like after that, we had to pay our own money. So I am including the $500 because that's not money out of my pocket, but it's money that I would have had to spend on gas if not for the scholarship. So it's more so like a marker of like how much money in gas was spent, not necessarily how much I spent for gas. And then the second thing is Uber transportation. So currently I don't own a car myself. I was either using Uber for transportation, or my boyfriend was driving me to and from, or there were like 1 or 2 occasions where a friend would drive me to and from. So the gas card money went towards my boyfriend's car driving me to and from appointments, and then if he wasn't able to do that, then I used Uber. So for transportation in total, $903.81 were spent towards transportation, towards my treatment and my checkups and my weekly changes for my PICC line. So yeah, that's how much money went towards transportation alone. And honestly, it's probably a little bit of an underestimate just because I didn't receive the gas card until like February. And my actual fertility journey and my first chemo treatment was in January. So I didn't get the card until February, and I actually started everything in January. So for the month of January, you could probably tack on another like $50 to $80, just depending. I can't remember how much gas was at that time, but yeah. So in January, we spent out of pocket on gas. But I don't have a record of what that was, so I can't add that to the total. So that's transportation. The next subcategory is over-the-counter medications that I either bought from CVS or like Walmart or whatever. Mostly CVS because it's close to my house. This one isn't as bad. It's $135.12. This includes things like motion sickness, medication. I did get towards the end, whenever I was my immune system was low, I did get sick, and so I bought some like sick medicine, some allergy medicine that they told me to buy for my chemo days, things like that. So yeah, that's over-the-counter stuff. The like dry mouth stuff that I bought over the counter, all those things were because of cancer treatment, so I counted it towards how much I spent during cancer treatment. The next subcategory is miscellaneous. This includes like the arm covering that I bought for my PICC line whenever I shower, and some like anti-nausea things that I also bought to try to like help me out with that regard, and like the teeth, like what are those called? Not retainers, but like the like anti-grinding teeth retainer things. I can't remember the word for them. So this subcategory came to a total of $55.30. So the whole entirety of the medical expenses category, with all 4 subcategories in it, came to a total of $1,228.96. When I saw that number, I was like, whoa. But I mean, it makes sense. Medication costs a lot, transportation costs a lot, especially Uber. Uber here costs like basically $30 one way, or like around $30 one way. So yeah, that's pretty much how it added up. So the grand total that has been spent in total towards all of my cancer treatments, all of my checkups, all of my weekly dressing changes and whatnot, is $2,378.23. When I saw this number, I was super surprised. It doesn't feel like I've spent that much money. especially I guess because it's been spread out over so many months. But I'm definitely grateful that it's not as much as it could have been without insurance. I can't imagine how much it would be without insurance. But that $2,300 is still a lot. I could do a lot with that money if I just had that money right now. I could definitely like do something fun or buy something really nice instead of having cancer. So, you know, hopefully this is the end of my cancer journey. I don't know yet. I still have to talk to my doctor about my PET scan. And hopefully it is, fingers crossed. Hopefully I don't have to do any more treatment, and this will be $2,000 well spent. But I don't know, that remains to be seen. Once I do find out, you know, what the next steps are, I'll probably make a video on that, just depending on what it is and how I feel about it. But I just want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following this far. If you want to support me and support the channel, definitely like and subscribe. Check out the links down below in the description box, and I will see you next time. Bye.